My goal is to share 7 indicators that would work as helpful beacons to help guide you along your value and your self-worth journey, and what it looks like when your ship is locked in to getting into that port. This will help you in your confidence, your self-image, and your self-esteem. Here are 7 signs that you're operating with a strong internal compass and you've got your shirt together. I just love saying that. I just love that. Um, Number one, you've got your shirt together when you embrace all your parts, when you accept yourself, flaws and all. The survival traits you developed, even the messy ones, are part of your story. So accept it. Instead of fighting them, you'll see them as opportunities to grow. It's about integrating the whole package, not just the polished parts. As I look back at some of my really, really rough times in my life, I was not always polished. I can assure you that. It took a lot of work. Take a lot. It still takes a lot of dedication, a lot of gratitude, um, a lot of paying. Yeah, really just paying attention to your life, and just honestly, a lot of humility and embracing things that you normally would not embrace. When I was growing up, I thought I looked funny. I had big ears. I was really light skinned, even more light skinned than I am now. And I didn't embrace every part of me. I didn't embrace me the way that I felt like I could have embraced me. Yeah, I knew I was different, and yeah, I still know I'm different. But now I think the journey is part of my journey is that I've learned to embrace every part of me, regardless of what people think of me. And and that's because I've learned to think better of myself. And when you learn to think better of yourself, you'll start to embrace and love every single part of you. I struggled with my nose at one point in time. I think that was probably like when I was around 17 years old. And um, I was actually going to get a nose job. I will share that with you. I actually was going to change my nose. And I'm so glad that I didn't do that, that I didn't um, go down that road, because who knows exactly what would have happened had that happened. And I've just learned just to embrace not only just those outer parts of me, but also the inside of me, which I know is very, very reflective and very built out of love and courage. And if you can do that, once you start embracing all your parts, and that's a you responsibility, you have to take responsibility. See, the reason I'm particularly excited about this and sharing this with younger males, and I want you all to really kind of like take some time out to think about younger males, even middle-aged males, and possibly even some seasoned males, and possibly even some seasoned males out there, and share this, because um, this is some valuable stuff, because it's going to help someone. I know it's just going to help someone, but I've got to ask you to share it. And if that's okay, now we can continue on. So I'm just asking you guys to please share this. Please take note of the younger men that are in your life, particularly who just don't understand self-worth and just don't know their value, and need to unpack that, because it's really important. As I said, it was my part, a really big part of my story. I know that it's a part of someone else's story out there, and I know we're just beginning. But yeah, number one, you embrace all your parts. You take responsibility for that, okay? Because nobody else is going to take responsibility for embracing your parts and your stuff. This is going to help you get your shirt together. Number two, you own your life. No excuses. You take full responsibility for where you are and the roadblocks you hit. There's no playing the victim or blaming others. You believe that you can influence your own path and outcomes. Do you believe that? You believe that, though. Saying you take full responsibility isn't enough, though. It takes action to actually own your life. And I say that because when we're younger, as younger males, and even those, again, middle-aged, those on their value journey. Uh, when you say that you take full responsibility, sometimes you're saying that in that moment that you have not taken full responsibility, that things have actually come crashing down in your life and you have nothing else to say but I take full responsibility. Don't just say you take full responsibility for what's going on in your life and you owning your life, because you can't sit around and blame others. You can't sit around and blame your mother. You can't sit around and blame your daddy. You can't sit around and blame the fact that you don't have a job and the employer and the weather and just anybody else who you might blame for you not owning your life. Get your shirt together. Own your life and make sure you're taking responsibility for it. Don't just say it. Number three, you're being real and you set hard lines. Okay. This is a sign that you really got your shirt together, that you're being real and you set hard lines. Nobody said it was going to be easy. Nobody said that as you go on, that you would go on in this, that you went on in this journey, that finding yourself, locking into your own authenticity was going to be easy, because it's really, really not. And if somebody says that it is, perhaps it was easy for them. But I'm going to tell you this: when you're being real and you set hard lines, authenticity is key. You say what you mean what you say, and you express your true feelings. Crucially, you value yourself enough to set firm boundaries and don't tolerate being mistreated. So what does this mean on another level? On the level that when you say what you mean and you mean what you say and express your true feelings, that doesn't mean you have to do it in a way that's going to get that is going to be that is going to denigrate another person, uh, that you feel like you have to let them have it, uh, to let them know that you mean what you say. Just mean what you say and work and endeavor towards meaning what you say. Work and endeavor towards saying what you mean in a way that can be expressive, but not necessarily in a way that's going to be condescending, not in a way that's going to cost you possibly a valuable relationship with someone. Um, just do it in a way that has some kind of dignity, that has some courtesy, that has a little bit of class to it, perhaps. And I would say that's probably a better way of handling it. When you mature and you find and you start working on yourself, when you start doing that, that's how you, when you start becoming better at yourself, you will learn how to communicate better with others. And you can be real and still be you, still be authentic, still be strong. Uh, and this whole notion about being right is a notion indeed, because it's not just about being right. It's about being able to express your true feelings, how you really feel, and someone's going to respect you for that if you do it in a way that um, that you can respect in yourself. And if people don't respect that and still don't understand that, then that's a hard line. Walk away. Walk away. Okay. But just know that you've done and work, always endeavor to be your best you and be real and set hard lines. Set some firm boundaries. Work towards that. Work on that. This is something that I really have seen in myself, that once I started working on a lot of personal boundaries, um, on my language on respect, my own personal language, how I transmitted that to other people, whether they were professional or whether they were just people, or whether they were friends or people in need of advice, um, or just someone who I wanted to understand. I wanted them to understand that I had a certain opinion that I wanted to get across, and I needed to get across in a way that I felt that was going to be valuable. Um, but I needed also to set my boundaries in a very, very professional and meaningful way. Once I started doing that, once I started recognizing the value behind that, things changed. People, and they're still changing. People accepted, I think, me better and are accepting me better as a result of that. I didn't know all of that before. I'm going to share that totally with you. I did not know that. I was so bad at my boundaries, and it's okay to be not okay with that. I was not okay with that. But I had to learn, and I'm still, again, learning. But you're going to know that you really have your shirt together when people start paying attention to you and start respecting your boundaries, whether it's at home, whether it's um, uh, on the streets, unfortunately, um, professionally. When people start having a really good, clear understanding of you as you start to build clarity in yourself, uh, you're going to um, you're going to understand better. You're going to um, learn how to set those hard lines, learn how to set and maintain those boundaries for your own sake, for your own existence. It's really super important to kind of get this point across, which is why I'm on it so long. Number four, you got your shirt together when you value your needs. You recognize you are worthy of care. This means you're looking after your physical, your mental being, you're eating well or eating better, you're getting enough rest or endeavoring to do that, you're hitting the gym or you're working out at home, you're doing something. You're being productive or enjoying a hobby, but you're doing something that shows that you value your needs. Understand that taking care of yourself isn't selfish. Okay. It's a sign of self respect. This is something, again, also that I had to kind of come to terms with because as a younger male going through all of the different changes and challenges of wanting to earn more money, having a better career, seeking a relationship, looking to be just something more than the ordinary. In doing that, I had to understand that taking care of myself um, just wasn't selfish. What it meant that would really honestly that I respected myself enough to take the time out to do that. And you have to respect yourself enough to do that. Okay, so I'm asking you to kind of look at that. Value what your needs are. Know what your needs are. Think about what those things are. Discuss them. Um, Seek mentorship. Seek personal development. Continue to watch this podcast. Continue to seek other people who can help you. Masterclass courses, yeah, master classes and courses, just any amount of the information that you can get to to be better, to start valuing your needs, to help you figure out your best version of you, how to get there. This is really super important. So I'm glad that you're getting value out there. I can see it, and I see there are a couple of comments out there, a lot of comments. I'm going to definitely get on it and jump on it as we are continue to be right here in the heat of this here moment. Thank you, y'all. Um, Number five, okay, another way that you can tell you've got your shirt together is that you favor growth over approval. You focus on learning new skills. You develop as a man. You want to focus on developing as a man and moving forward, not on worrying if others like you or they approve of your choices. Um, you seek personal growth, not external validation. I did a podcast on validation, how to validate yourself internally. If you take a good look in on Facebook, on Instagram, if you take a good look for it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel. It's definitely up there. It's definitely worth looking at some ways how you can validate yourself and not depend on being externally validated. That you need that. Um, Favor your growth over your approval. When you make the focus of learning new skills um, and really developing yourself as a person, as a man, you will move forward. Okay. You don't need other people to approve of your choices. You don't need other people to like you. That's a lot of that is wrapped up in people pleasing, and people pleasing is something that I have gone through, and it does continue to raise its head because that's the way that it is. It really doesn't. Um, it doesn't necessarily leave you per se, because that could be a part of your heart and the way that you share with people. But when you become a victim, or you victimize yourself, really, because that comes back to that taking responsibility, and you allow people, because you haven't set your boundaries properly, and you start pleasing people, or you're pleasing people too much, then that's going to take a toll on you. It's going to take a toll on you. It's going to take a toll on your finances. It's going to take a toll on your mental well-being. It may even take a toll on your friendships. So, you know, these are big, big clues here. Favor your growth. Once you start pouring yourself into growing, you start pouring yourself into learning more about yourself, you start pouring yourself into more of the things that you want to do. You start recognizing, you start feeling, you start going out here and really learning, thinking, um, pursuing, journeying to get somewhere, to really, really get somewhere, to be something, to be more than you ever wanted to be. When you start doing that, that's when your whole life changes and you start coming alive. That's why these things, these seven signs to make sure that you got your shirt together are really important. Number six, be a force multiplier. When you have become a force multiplier and not a competitor, genuine self worth means another man's success doesn't threaten you. You're not threatened by somebody else's success. You're not jealous. You're not wishing that you had what they had. You don't wish that you could speak like them. You don't wish that you could give and deliver the message the way they do. You're not comparing yourself. When another man succeeds, that knows more, that um not better than, but is just a different man than you. You're not threatened by that, because you're secure in yourself. You're secure in how you have become a force multiplier and not a competitor. You don't look at things the same way. You've matured, you've grown. Instead, you're secure enough to appreciate, support, and build others up. You're going to big up your bro. You're not going to sit there and you're going to talk about him, and and you're going to use that as an excuse why you're not successful. You're not going to do that. You got to be better than that. Okay. You have to grow to be smarter than that. You have to grow in a way that's going to bring attention to you, that you're going to attract the right things and the right ideals by becoming a force multiplier, looking at yourself as more the value of being a valuable soldier in an army of valuable soldiers. A high tide raises all ships. So when you up your value, when you up your bro and you start upping yourself, okay, in a way that's respectable, and they will respect you because they will lift you up as well. When you start doing that as a man, you're going to be that high tide that raises someone else's ship. And it may be a little dinghy that's kind of floating out there in the river, in the water somewhere, that doesn't know which way it needs to go. And that's where you come in. Number seven, and we're about to bring this thing in, and because I'm going to go to some of these comments, because I see y'all out here. I really, really see you. And yeah, I see you. I'm excited about this. Number seven, you trust your gut. You've really got your shirt together when you trust your gut, when you refer to your internal compass, and you have an internal compass. You believe you are the main character in your story. You trust your ability to handle challenges and firmly believe that your choices have created your reality. This confidence is where true resilience is built. When you start understanding that, and you start actually, when you start taking that responsibility that I kind of went, I'm going to go back to that a little bit, and you start trusting yourself. Because when I think back to, I guess, various areas, various times in my career, when I didn't trust myself and I didn't go with my gut instinct, I did not feel that I really had my shirt together because I knew that I didn't have it together. And I wanted to come across better. I wanted it to be that when I made decisions, that they were decisions that in my heart of hearts were the right decisions to make as I was going through my own value journey in my various uh, the various roads that I took in my career. Once I started trusting my gut, once I started trusting myself to be able to make decisions, and I started to believe that I was the main character in that story, and I relied less on what people thought about me and said about me, about whether or not I was going to make it or whether I was good enough, whether or not I was talented enough, whether or not I had enough skills to really be that guy. I started to trust my gut and I started to make decisions based on that trust and building that trust with me and that belief that I was and that I am the main character in my story. I started to believe that I could handle those challenges that were coming up, and I did handle them. And when I failed, I was able to go back to that same belief, learn, and reinstate that in a way that brought dignity, that brought honor, that brought a mindset to me, to my self-efficacy, that belief of knowing, that belief of doing, being able to do the thing that you're able to do. And I believe that that choice helped to create my reality. That understanding also that I had built resilience in my life as a result of failing, but learning how to trust what was going on my inside, my gut instinct. When I started doing that, a lot of things changed for me. So I want to say this, that I hope, I really hope that you've gotten great value, because this has been 7 signs, only 7, that you've got your shirt together.